All right, good evening. For this video, I will discuss the last chapter for midterm, which is the evaluation and the user experience, which will be our chapter 5. All right, so since wala mo ta nag-meet for today, Saturday, since you guys have midterm exam for your TCW, so I will just discuss it through this video. No? So I hope that you will do you call this? So I hope that you will learn from this, scan through this PPT or what for you to absorb some information that can help sa inyong midterm exam. So yes. Um so sa wala pa pagdugay-dugay no, let's start. So we have here the list of contents. So I will discuss the introduction for this chapter, the expert review and heuristics, the usability testing and laboratories, survey instruments, and the acceptance test, evaluation during active and beyond, and lastly for the controlled psychologically oriented experiments. So this is basically the content for this chapter is basically the usability testing. So right after the development, no, there will be an excessive testing, like no, no, you mentioned po dira na survey instruments, so there will be a survey questionnaires that can help your design nga maging consistent. All right. Okay, so the introduction, no. So, for the introduction, designers can become so entranced with their creations that they may fail to evaluate them adequately. So, designers can become overly focused on their creations, which may lead to insufficient evaluation. So, this can result in overlooking important usability issues. So, if you're a designer, then focused, kay ka, no? Yeah, you're just seeing like straightforward, not kind of considering your peripheral view, you're more likely to overlook some important details sa imong design or sa imong system. Then, next is the experienced designers have attained the wisdom and humility to know that extensive testing is a necessity. No, so if you're experienced designer, kabalo ka sa imong self na excessive testing is relevant or important when it comes to your design or to your system or to your website. Okay, without extensive testing, of course there would be a lot of errors or issues nga ma-encounter. Especially if i-deploy na ninyo without testing, daghan kay na gyud nga mga issues and errors and bugs nga wala nimo as a designer, wala nimo nakita kay feeling mo okay na siya, ready to deploy na na. But wala ka kabalo no. Once the user will test it, there will be bugs and errors no and issues. Na-experience na mo na during our capstone. Wala man gyud ni QA. QA means the quality assurance. So, their task is to validate all the processes or the specific task in your system nga okay ba siya ang iyang process na by bugs or pag i-click ba nako ni kay sakto ba iyang data nga makuha something na. So wala mi QA sa mga group. And then mo to nahitabo pag present na mo sa mong capstone nagbug siya, final defense na namo to siya no, nagbug siya. So daghan gid kay tag dili mabantayan. So it is important to have extensive testing para pag-deploy nimo goods na kayong system. But take note, um, dili gyud walay system na perfect. Alright? So daghan nay flaws and drawbacks. But as a designer, so mag-feedback mo na of course ang imong mga users no, and you need to apply those modification, 'di ba? Nag-discuss na taan na. Okay, so next one is the determinants of the evaluation plan include the stage of design, early, middle, and late. So the designs phase affects evaluation methods. Early stages might need conceptual validation, while later stages focus on usability and functionality. Next one is we have the novelty of project, well-defined versus explanatory. So projects that are well-defined can use standard testing methods, whereas exploratory projects require flexible and creative evaluation strategies to uncover new insights. So, ana diri na well-defined daw na sila yung mga standard nga testing methods. So, na may follow nga, let's say, guidelines or sabay standard, no, sa inyong project. Whereas exploratory requires flexible and creative evaluation strategies. So, there are a lot of strategies. Flexible siya. What if in ani? What if in ani? There are a lot of strategies. So, flexible siya. Kay pasinday na may new goal nga ma-discover or nabo-bring new nga mga features nga ma-discover that can help the consistency of your design of your system. Next one is you have the number of expected users. So, in evaluation plan, you should include also kung pila ang imo expected users. Ana din ni, a larger user base necessitates broader testing to gather diverse feedback. So the more nga daghan kang users, the more pod nga daghan ka feedback nga madawat. And usually pag inana, there are common nga mga feedback nga inyong makuha. So since daghan man sila nag-feedback regarding some issues or some features nga nai-issues sa inyong system, then it will help um the system to be consistent or ensuring the design meets various needs and preferences. So, if inana, there are a lot of users that will give feedback sa imuha, then there are tuingon ako nga there are mga new features nga ma-discover or mga issues na ma-fix na dayon. So criticality of the interface. So life critical medical system versus museum exhibit support. So that's just one example. The stakes involved in the interface's function dictate the evaluation's rigor. Rigor, charot. I don't know how to read this, but right, yeah, functions function dictate the evaluation's rigor. So critical systems like medical devices, they demand exhaustive testing to prevent serious consequences. So, na criticality no of sa imuhang interface. Criticality means like broad ba siya? Complex ba siya? 'Di ba ato ako ingon last time sa tong discussion that the more it is easy to use, the more nga dagan mo gamit. So the more it is user friendly, then your app or your system is marketable sa market, no? Next is cost of product and finances allocated for testing. So budget constraints influence the extent of evaluation activities. Adequate funding is needed to perform comprehensive tests, while limited resources may restrict testing scope. So in testing or in evaluation na part, you should consider the cost of testing sa imong product or sa mga product sa unsa like dili lang man pasabot sa in-designing no na sa system lang gyud balik-balik no ingon na there are a lot like sa products mga mobile devices and another a lot of devices, so there are a lot of like types siguro of creating a product kay ang website product nga po na siya, no? So you should consider the cost of testing na involved when it comes to evaluation plan. Okay. Actually dapat gani no every pag mag-testing na mo or sa testing na phase, you should there should be a lot of testing nga mahitabo kay if like gamay rang testing ang hitabo tas uh, excuse me, i-deploy na siya. Then pagbalik dagan pa kay issues, then another cost na pod. So you need to consider the cost of your testing nga kanang siya worth it siya nga paggasto nimo sa sa testing nga part nga pag i-deploy na siya sa users kay di na siya more likely mabalik. Siguro mabalik but minimal issues lang. Di na need nga maggasto yun og dako. Next is time available. So the project timeline impacts how much evaluation can be conducted. Tight deadlines may lead to prioritizing essential tasks rather than exhaustive evaluations. So, kaning namin timeline ang mga projects. So bisan ano na example ako, I gave you your ano, I mean yeah, I gave you your final PIT na. And there nagyud na siya time frame or timeline para inyo siyang mahuman. But if hindi siya mahuman, mag-cram mo, of course. Kung hapit na deadline, po maglihok no, mag-cramming mo. So if mag-evaluate mo sa inyong project or sa inyong PIT, then katurang mga mag-prioritize mo mga important na features ato inyong project kaysa ma-extensive testing pa mo agian ninyo tanan. So inana siya no. So uh, you use your time wisely by prioritizing like the kanang difficulty bito sa features kaysa in my experience no sa programming nina and uh, dili ka na mo gina-prioritize ang mga simple lang na process. We more likely prioritize ka ng mga complex na process. Like mo agi yung pila ka transactions, like that. So, unahon naman na sila, later na din ang mga simple na mga processes. Kay para, if para, pag unahon nimo ang lisod mong good, in the long run, medyo makabalo na ka unsaon siya pag troubleshoot or pag-fix no if nabay errors or what. Kaysa dito na later part na nimo na fix ng complicated kay na process or dako kay siya na process, then ma-short mo sa imong time. Whereas kay more likely ang mga dagko kay processes or kanang daghan processes no sa isa ka transaction mo na siya ang mo na siya ang important na feature na ginagamit sa ka website or sa isa ka system. Yeah, layo na kita giabtan no but relatable na siya sa time framing or kanang availability when it comes to a project. Okay, next is experience of the design and evaluation team. So, the expertise of both the design and the evaluation team affects the quality of the evaluation. Experienced teams are better equipped to conduct effective tests and interpret results accurately. So, kaning mga experience, mga user experience, and so I call them we normally we call them quality assurance. Kana sila mga QA, no? They will be the one that will check the system if there are bugs, if there are errors, if there are issues na encounter during their testing. And yeah, experienced teams are better equipped to conduct effective tests and interpret results accurately. So each factor no that I mentioned plays a crucial role in shaping an effective evaluation plan. So in there, ano sila important? Yun sila kay they play an important role sa imuhang ginahimo na project. Okay? Next. Also part of the introduction. Usability evaluators must broaden their methods and be open to non-empirical methods such as user sketches, consideration of design alternatives, and ethnographic studies. So recommendations need to be based on observational findings. So this part, no, usability evaluation should go beyond just hard data. So the ato ingon you should not focus just like straight. You should see like consider like seeing your peripheral view. Kay basin day, if close na kay ka ana na like imong natun-an focus ra kay ka unya dili ka galantaw sa di ka ma-explore or you don't go out of your box then daang ka dili ka mag-improve, right? So, you should consider like mga kanang hard data like statistics where maka-help yun na siya no sa inyong design or sa inyong system. Okay, so next one is we have design team needs to be involved with research on the current system design drawbacks. So um the design team should actively participate in research to understand the existing system's flaws. So this helps to grasp the real issues users faced and consider this when making improvements. So they need to be itong last, 'di ba? They need to be on the same page. Because if the designers are not on the same page, then the design or the website will lead to failure or lead to a lot of issues, mga inana. So, so tools and techniques are evolving. Yes, that's correct, no? The tools and methods for usability testing are continuously advancing. It's important to stay updated with the latest practices and approaches to improve evaluations. Just like what I said earlier, you should not focus on like one way lang. You should explore because our technology right now is evolving. Whereas also, the tools and techniques are also evolving, no? Sa una, sketches lang, drawing drawing lang. But karon nanay there are a lot of designing tools. Figma, sa una PowerPoint atong nailhan, karon nanay Canva. There are a lot of AI tools nga gani nga maka-create na og presentation, diba? So, technology is evolving, you need to adapt. Okay? Next is range of evaluation plans, usability, um the range of evaluation plans might be anywhere from an ambitious 2-year test and multiple phases for a new national air traffic control system to a 3-day test with 6 users for a small internal website. So, usability testing plans can vary significantly from a long-term, multi-phase project and to short or quick tests for something smaller. The approach depends on the project scale. So, pasabot lang ani, if dako kay ang imuhang project, then it would involve like dugay a lot of like pila ka years, multiple years for like to conduct testing. Kay dako man kay siya. And if dako kayo ka ng wide kayang scope, then maghimay-himay pa mo ana, mag-testing pa mo sa tanan niya features. Whereas kung gamay-gamay lang ang iyang scope, then gamay lang pud nga time frame ang ma-involve ana. So the range of cost might be from 20% of a project down to 5%. So the cost of usability evaluations no can range from a large portion of the project budget like for complex na yun like ako ingon wide scope nga mga project mag-involve yun dako nga budget for testing. Then opposite sila, if gamay lang ang imuhang scope sa imong project, then gamay ra pod ang kuan. Gamay ra pod ang imuhang budget for testing. Depende na siya no kung saan yung project scale. And lastly, no, the usability testing has become an established and accepted part of the design process. So usability testing has become a standard and widely accepted part of the design process, meaning it's essential for like ensuring that designs meet user needs and functions as intended. So kaning usability testing, important yun ni siya and vital yun ni siya when it comes to design. Kay, um, it will be a validation if the functions or the features or standards kay na-meet siya no as expected or na-meet ba yung goals or objectives ana inyuhang system or design. So we have here the first part, no? Or after the introduction, we have here the experts' reviews and heuristics. So many siyang heuristics. Ang heuristic is a general rule in ano ha, in designing ha, a general rule or principle that provides practical guidance for problem solving or decision making. In usability and design, heuristics are guidelines that help evaluate whether a UI user interface is intuitive, user-friendly, and efficient. So muna siya sa heuristics. Heuristics um validates or evaluates the problem solving or decision making if the system or your design is good for disabled ba, user friendly ba siya, dali na ba siya masabtan, efficient ba siya, no? They are the ones that will evaluate if again your system is easy to use. So while informal demos to colleagues or customers can provide some useful feedback, more formal expert reviews have proven to be effective. So these reviews no, are conducted by professionals who assess the design strengths and weaknesses. So I'm not sure on sa kinsan ni sila nga mga professionals, but one thing that I can mention is the QA again, quality assurance. So kay sila there will be the one that will ano man test your design if goods ba siya, sakto ang process. No? So expert reviews entail 1/2 day to 1 week effort. Although a lengthy training period may sometimes be required to explain the task domain or operational procedures. So there are a variety of expert review methods to choose from. So first here, we have the heuristic evaluation. So kaning heuristic evaluation, experts are established usability principles to evaluate the design and identify the problem. So ang heuristic evaluation, no, ato again, akong ingon, they are the ones that will validate or evaluate your system design if the processes are consistent and that can lead to like user-friendly ba siya, efficient siya, no? Next is guidelines review. The system is reviewed based on a set of usability guidelines or best practices. So katong last ato na topic, no, there will be guideline documents. So those are the guideline documents ba are being followed? No? So next is consistency inspection. So ito siya, experts check for consistency across the design. So consistent ba when it comes to terminologies, when it comes to color palettes, when it comes to functionalities, when it comes to interactions, the same ba siya? Consistent ba siya or naglahi-lahi? So muna siya no, there will be like an experts that will review your design. Next is the cognitive walkthrough. So the experts walk through tasks step by step to see how easily users can achieve goals with the system. So dali ra ba maka-process ang users? Dali ra ba nila natunan? Dali ra ba nila like nakatuod ba ang mga users kung asa ni access na feature na. So um Ngina na. So, especially no, if new ka nga user, like bag-o yun sa imo ng system or sa imo nga app, dali ra ba nimo natun-an? So, mo na siya katong atong 'di ba there are itong first topic nato mga usability measurements pa to siya katong mga rate of errors, katong mga satisfactory like sa feedback to siya. So ato na siya magian later on gyapon no for review lang. Okay, lastly, formal usability inspection. So, a structured detailed evaluation where experts assess the system's usability based on specific area. So, many more specific, specific criteria. Specific criteria means like specific task, a specific, task na lang ako i-term. Specific task that your website or your system can do. For example, mag-book og hotel, mag-book og resort nga inyong system. So, kato siya na feature, formal usability inspection nga part ato is ang iyang i-assess kato na specific process. Next na po na process, assess na po niya. So, kanang ano siya, mo siya gi-subdivide like that. Okay? Next one. So, reviews can be scheduled at several points in development process when experts are available and when design team is ready for feedback. So, expert reviews can be conducted at various stages during the development process, depending on when experts are available and when the design team is prepared to receive feedback. So, um, Expert reviews can be conducted at various stages during the development process, depending on when experts are available and when the design team is prepared to receive feedback. So kani sila, medyo na-confuse ko gamay no bisag nag-study na ko ano eh. So kani sila na part, 'di ba there are QAs, the quality assurance. So ilan ang ilisdan tanan nilang mga na-test or that nga ilahang mga nakita nga mga errors. Then they will present it to the designer or to the developer. Then the developer or the designer will modify their design. Na siya simple. Next is different experts tend to find different problems in an interface. So 3 to 5 expert reviewers can be highly productive as can complementary usability testing. So kung ingon ka ganina no, so one testing or one review lang, dili dili na siya inanaka consistent na yung system if na-review na siya once. So, there will be a lot of reviewers. Kaya if one reviewer, nga i-review siya, lahi po na yung insights. No, lahi sa insights kaya lahi mapod sila o kanang gina-test. So, better nga mas dagan ka reviewers, mas duol sa duol siguro sa excellent ng imuhang system. So, gasto siya no kay dagan kay kag testers or dagan kay kag mag-review sa imong design but makasave gyapon mo kay nga naman makasave gyapon ang company na lang ato ikuan makasave gyapon kay gidaghan naman nila ang first pa lang nga testing daghan naman reviewers kung isa lang then i-deploy balik-balik so mag-add up ang gasto so may matong isahan lang. Right? Char. Okay. Next is the dangers with expert reviews are that experts may not have an adequate understanding, excuse me, of the task domain or user communities. Mm, Excuse me. So a major risk is that experts might not fully understand the specific task domain or the needs of the target user community, which can lead to less relevant feedback. So yun na ano, as a reviewer, you should know or you should have like an overview siguro. What are the specific tasks or what are the tasks that can the system perform? Then after that, then you will test. You should know like kanang unsa mo work ning specific na feature. Kay if wala kay hanaw, then kalas-kalas na sila gasto sa pag-hire sa imuha or pa-review sa imuha because that can lead to less relevant na feedback. Kaya wala makakabalo. What are the specific features can do in that system? So na as an expert reviewer, you should or a quality assurance na lang, you should know or have an overview what are your like need na i-check sa system. No? Or just have the guideline documents or unsa to ang mga specific goals ninyo achieve. Can have that copy siguro. No, kay part pa silang team. Okay. Next is even experienced expert reviewers have great difficulty knowing how typical users, especially first timers, will really behave. So, challenge na no for experts ay because again ingon dira no even experienced expert or experienced reviewers may struggle no to predict how typical users especially like mga novice users pa will interact the system. So kani siya na gap can sometimes result in feedback that doesn't accurately reflect real user behavior. So, kay na may mga novice nga mga users no nga kanang overthink ang gani good experience yun ako na siya kay sa akong work mara ako QA. So, every time nga naay ipahimo ang client, so ako na siyang like mag-support man ko, ako na siyang lantawon. Ug yun sa niya kanang yun sa niya pagtuplok ana good kay 'pag beginner pa man gyud ka, there are gyud mga instances nga sayop imong matuplok, sayop imong makuan tas mag-raise na sila concern tapos ano day human error naman di ay. So unless no if nay error gyud nga ni prompt sa system, kana siya ihatag na ko na siya sa developer but i-test pa na ko na siya first sa kung gayon ani ba gyud siya. Basin ano ra 'to nag-bug ra 'to kat iyang PC. So, ako din if na-confirm na gyud nako ay gaynani gyud ay siya. So, ako siya ihatag sa developer. Then ang developer iya nang i-fix. Once iya nang i-fix, balik ba sa kuha, ako na po dayon ang mag-test. Balik then. If okay na siya, like wala na yung mga bugs and other things and other issues and concerns, then I will give it to the user or to the client. Deploy the changes or the modified um modified nga na-fix na nga issue to the client. Ano siya ihatag. Okay. Next is, medyo taas-taas pa ni siyang discussion guys, no? So, dinata sa usability testing and laboratories. So, ako lang ni siyang ipamubo, no? There are two areas, the testing room and the observation room. So, man ni siya. Testing room is typically smaller and accommodates a small number of people. So, very understandable, no? Testing room, gamay lang mo dili mo siya like dili siya dinaghan nga pag-test. Whereas the observation room can see into the testing room typically via a one-way mirror. The observation room is the larger and can hold the usability testing facilitators with ample room to bring in others, such as the developers of the product test being tested. So, um, I'm not sure from sa other nga mga products, no? Kay, like, one I can think of kay, example, na isa ka product, then nag-test din sila sa testing room. Ang kanang observation room, kay day mga selected nga mga users, and they will observe how will the user or like, how will the user interact with the product or how will the user use the product ngayon lang gihimo, and they will observe then kung silang observation nga nabay need i-modify, then they will have to modify it. Okay, so na ko ipakita dere the step by step usability guide or mo ni siya ang kanang unsa mura na siya gyapon siya og phase, no, katong ganing the designing phase, but kani siya wala ni siya sa usability guide. So, muna siyang marag procedure or the process, no? So, plan. Of course, you should develop a plan. Then, write up a plan, write a statement of your plan. Then, while develop mo plan, then you should assemble a project team. Then, you should write a statement of work kung unsa bay lahang mga specific roles. Then, after assembling a project team, then you should hold a kick-off meeting. So, mag-meeting mo na, of course. Inyo yun na i-mention, no, sa inyong agenda nga what are your guidelines or what are the functional or non-functional requirements, right? Sa first phase. So typically this is just the I mean basically this is just the first phase, no, sa design process. So they will hire a usability specialist. Kaya pili nila silang off meeting. Sa kick-off meeting. Alright? So, kaning usability specialist, meron ni sila katong QA akong ginaingon. Okay? Then, right after that one, they can proceed to the next step, which is the analyze. So, mag-analyze sila. They will evaluate the current site, learn about your users, conduct task analysis, develop personas, write scenarios, set measurable goals. So, this, meron po siya part sa inyong functional requirements as well as the like inyong lagi mga functional requirements inyo ba i-assess ninyo siya balik i-analyze ninyo siya then you would go to the design, then determine site requirements, conduct a content inventory, perform cart sorting, define IA, right for the web mga inana, no, as you can see there. So diri the design na dayon how will you perform siguro the solution sa isa ka system. Then after that one, then you should test and refine. Then types of evaluations, then usability testing, then moagi dayon ka og pag mag-usability test then you should create. So same ra gyapon siya sa design process sa katong four kabuok. Okay, next one. We have the usability testing and laboratories gyapon. So, continuation is siya. So, this shows no pictures, glasses worn for eye tracking. So, kani siya, um, na-amaze ko pagbasa na ako sa book kay, na di nani, like, ang na di po yung mga some as I use it, like mga usability testing no nga kanang i-track din nila ang movement sa imong mata kung dali ra ba nimo nakita ang buttons, dali ra ba nimo na navigate ang isa ka website. So no, same with this one kaning eye tracking software, kanang mga check-in kiosk, sorry, check-in kiosk. So, it allows the designer to collect data observing how the users looks at the screen. So, nani ano, makabantay ta nga kanang ayap ako nakabalupod no as kanang kuan as I read the book nga there are pod di ay mga designers na gina-observe how we look at the system, how we navigate it, if dali ra ba nato nakita ang mga buttons, easy ra ba siya nga makita ang mga buttons, easy ra ba i-use ang system. So, true siya na murag um experiment or observation na part nga ilang ginahimo no like mura silang nag-research kay dala man nila mabalaan if okay ano dali ra day navigate among system nga gihimo or among design nga gihimo. Okay. Next one is the usability testing not only sped up many projects, but that is produced dramatic cost savings. So again, itong gingon ako, if ang kaning usability testing, there are a lot of reviewers in your system or in your design, then it would like kanang save, no? Like inyong cost nga makuha. Okay? Kaya ang ingon din usability testing has been shown to speed up project timelines and result in significant cost savings by identifying usability issues early in development. So, wala na siya gi-deploy. Development pa lang, pag-test pa lang sa developer and sa QA, nakita na nilang mga issues, then um this will reduce the need for expensive redesigns na pod. Kay if na-deploy na nila, nya mag-redesign pa man di ay another gasto na pod. No, to ingon ako kaganina. Next is the movement towards usability testing stimulated the construction of usability laboratories. So the rise of usability testing led to establishment of dedicated usability laboratories where testing could be conducted in controlled and observable environment. Okay. Next is the typical modest usability lab would have two two to 10 by 10-foot areas, one for the participants to do their work and another separated by a half silvered mirror for the testers and observers. So, mo ni siya na murag a facility na ni na part nga ilang consider. Participants should be chosen to represent the intended user communities with attention. So, background in computing and experience with the task, motivation, education, ability with natural language used in the interface. So, as a like if mag-conduct mo usability testing, you should also know kinsa inyong mga user. You should like siguro assess them if they are qualified sa inyong sa inyo ha sa pag pag test sa inyong product or sa inyong system kay basin og English ang inyong nasa inyong interface per inyong user nga gi-hire or inyong user nga gipa-test kay Japanese or or Koreans there 'di ba kay in my understanding dili kayo na sila into like English jud no kabalo sila some of them kabalo but most of them or dominant sa ila dito is like ilang writing is Koreans no okay something like that. Okay. Next is participation should always be voluntary. Informed consent should be obtained, of course. No? Dili gid mo mag mamugos og patest sa inyong product. It should be voluntary. And next one, no, professional ethics practice is to ask all subjects to read and sign a statement like this. So kabantay man ang magpa-survey mo, 'di ba? You should like ask a consent first. Like, okay lang ba kung ano yung data? Kanay, this is voluntary, blah, 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 blah. So, if they will decline, then you have to respect that. Okay, so nadara akong sa inyong mga mga i-consider nga kanang mga statements so that the participant has freely volunteered, they know what tasks they will be doing and procedures involved. So you should be transparent. In short, no, you should be transparent sa ila hapon. So, the institutional review boards or IRB often governs human subject test processes. So, an ARB often oversees the ethical conduct of studies involving human participants. They ensure the process is ethical, the risks to participants are minimized, and that participants' rights are well-being are protected. So, if you will involve like humans or users, you should, you know, make sure that they are protected, that their well-being are protected, they are safe, there are no risk involved, and also make sure to ask consent. No, nga, wala sila gipugos. Okay. Next is videotaping participants performing tasks is often valuable for later review and for showing designers or managers the problems that users encounter. So use caution in order to not interfere with participants and invite users to think aloud, sometimes referred to as a concurrent think aloud about what they are doing as they are performing the task. So this simply means that when you record participants while performing tasks, this can be helpful no, in reviewing how they perform na how they perform or how they navigate the system or your design. And you will review it later. Mag-inani no, if mag-pre-record ko, tapos nahumanan ninyo, tapos namoy gusto balikan, so pwede na ninyo siya i-review. However, care must be taken not to disrupt or distract the participants during the test. Kaya ba sila mag-video-video ka, doon mo na-distract na yung mga participants na noon. Okay, and also you should invite your users to think aloud. Saan siya pasabot sa think aloud? When they perform the task when they perform the task, you should encourage them to think aloud. What they think should be voiced out or something inanan. Kung sa ilang nahuna-hunaan nga, dapat dili na part kay ano ni siya sir or ma'am kanang dili ni siya nani nga process mas easier kung whatever the feedback is, you should take note and later on discuss with the team and then apply it sa inyong system. Okay? Next is many variant forms of usability testing have been tried. Paper mock-ups, discount usability testing, competitive usability testing, and A/B testing. So what are these? So isasaw na to sila. Paper mock-ups, you all know about that one, no? Like mga sketches, no? Simple sketches, mga pretty designs, may nana. So, paper mock-ups. Also, yung discount usability testing. So, a less formal, quick method that often uses a small number of participants, mga 3 to 5 lang, to find major usability issues without extensive resources. So, kaning discount usability testing, more likely, mga 3 to 5, ano lang mo, users or humans nga mag-test. Ang competitive usability testing naman, comparing the usability of your product with the competitor's product to see how it performs in real-world tasks. So you should compare if na may same-same nga kanang mga competitor na same-same mo o buhaton ng system, you should have a unique feature or you should like compare them unsay nakalahi sa inyo between the two. Next is the A/B testing. Kaning A/B testing, more na siya plan A, plan B, something na ano, or two, or version A, version B. In your design, dili lang mo stick siguro og one, I mean, pwede siya mag-stick og design, but let's say process na lang. If namay isa ka process na kani, nas namay isa ka process pod, nga same ra sila og output, you should compare. You should compare and contrast. What process is more easier? What process is better, what process is like can perform efficiently, like yung speed of performance kay dali ra siya. So you should test both processes, then compare and contrast. Then right after you test, then you should identify which of the processes are or which of the processes that imong gitest kay better or efficient. Okay. Next one is we have the universal usability testing. Hello? Oh, binako nga wala ko may. Okay, universal usability testing. Universal usability from the word itself. Unsa na siya gani? Char, walay mo to bag kay video recorder si ma'am. Charot. Okay, universal usability means you should test if your design is user-friendly to all people nga with disabilities, for oldies, for kids, no? Diverse pa siya, magamit ba siya nila sa mga people with disability, especially with people with disability. Ano, no? Okay. Or like kani sa universal usability kabalo ko understand na mo ani no, or like mga lahi-lahi nga mga types of devices, what we call that is responsive ba siya or not. Field tests and portable labs. So in a field test, usability testing is conducted in a user's natural environment or their workplace or at home rather than a lab. So portable are mobile setups that allow testing to happen outside traditional labs, providing more realistic insights into how users interact with the product in everyday context. So one example that I can think of this is like beta. Kabalo man ang mga beta nga apps like let's say sa Facebook na siya additional ay sa Meta na lang. Sa Meta na siya 'di ba yung Facebook and Instagram unsa pa yung mga products. So let's say sa Meta na siya another nga sub app nga iyang himuon. Before na nila i-deploy gyud, ila sa nang magbe-beta pa na iyang merge status, beta sa na nila. If they will observe if there are a lot of users nga mogamit ani in everyday life, then if dagan siya mogamit, then they would deploy it permanently. Same with Facebook and Instagram. And if not, if ano siya dili yun siya like ginagamit yun, then probably they will consider not to implement or deploy it. Kay i-improve pa siguro nila, then balik na pa din sila pa-process sa pag-testing. No? Next is remote usability testing from the word itself, remote. So, kanang magpa-test mo remotely lang. So, allowing participants to perform tasks on their devices from anywhere. So, para sa kuha, example, akong i-remote ang inyong laptop. So, there will be a third-party software siguro ang gamiton. So, I can remote your laptop, makita sa akong end, nabisag asa mga lugar. Okay, next is can you break this test? Ano siya? This test challenge users to intentionally try to break the system, find bugs, or make the system fail. This helps identify weaknesses, errors, or security issues that might not be found through regular usability testing. No yo-yo.